Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're doing another book review. Now today's book review is going to be over Soulbinders, the first book in the Personas of Legend series, which just released on the 24th of August, like a week ago basically. And it's written by Dante King. It's self-published on Amazon. You can find it. I think it's $5, or you can get it through Kindle Unlimited. Don't quote me on that. I can't actually remember. And the genres here are epic fantasy, harem lit, and there's elements of game lit in the way kind of the progression of the series kind of happens is very much like a game than a regular story. So yeah, now the premise of this is that a Viking with this strange power of applying kind of armor and magic and skills from people that are long dead that were kind of special heroes, and his companion, a shield maiden from his kind of same tribe, get tasked with saving worlds from an encroaching evil known as the Festering. And it's a really interesting story. As you can tell from the cover, the first world that they go to is Japan. Or, well, I say world because they went through a portal thing, but I'm not really sure if it was like, hey, we're in the same country, we just have to go, or we're in the same world, we just have to go to a different place really far away. Or if it's like literally like, hey, you're in this version of Norway or whatever place the Vikings are from, Denmark. We're going to send you to this other world where you're going to Japan. I'm not really sure how it worked, but that's what it is. So, the evaluation here, I guess. Now, the plotline was good. It was very clear, and it worked really well. It moved forward smoothly, which is really great. A lot of these harem-lit, game-lit things where they're self-published, a lot of the authors are rather new to writing, and they really more like string scenes together instead of building a cohesive story, which is a plus for Dante King. He did a really good job making sure that everything connected cohesively, and it actually followed a smooth transition, which is really good. We get this game-styled system based on magic and this thing called Renown, which is basically experience points based on how well you fought, essentially. And our main characters have to battle evil and gain renown. So the whole story is kind of a grinding / leveling thing. It's quite good, actually. I really liked it. There's also the whole situation where it's like, hey, you're our hero. You're tasked with this epic quest to save us from encroaching evil, which is the very best definition of epic fantasy because it's very large, sprawling. There's going to be a lot of characters and magic, which was great. I really like this. I actually was surprised that it was so interesting to me, and I'm really happy that I got to review this or read it. And I'm really looking forward to some other series by Dante King. He has a couple. Earlier in August, he released the Warrior Mage. It's kind of like a dude bro Harry Potter is what he told me, which I'm really excited to read soon. He also has one where it's like a necromancer that can summon goddesses, and then Dragon Atlas, which I already reviewed, which you can find somewhere here, and a few other series that I'm really interested in that I just haven't gotten around to, and I'll probably get around to before the end of the year. So yeah, really good stuff. I'm looking forward to reading more of him because I really enjoyed this, and I actually want to read the next one already. I read this on Monday, and I wanted to email the author directly and be like, hey man, when are you going to release the next one of this series? Because I was really happy with how it turned out. But I didn't do that because I thought that was a little bit unprofessional. But yeah, so the characters, there's very nice, very good, very well done. They're all clear, they're all different, and they're all meaningful, more or less. So we have our main character who is Leo the Viking. I forgot his full name. But, you know, it's a very Viking-esque name with, like, a W and a K and a C. Yeah. And then our secondary character, or, like, his, the Lancer / his companion / childhood friend love interest is Kara Ironside, which is a cool name, but because it's a harem-lit series, I was like, oh, yeah, her ass is, like, metal. And I was like, oh, God. But it's just a stupid thing that I thought about when I read her name. So Leo and Kara are our two main characters. And, well, Leo is the main character, but Kara is basically, you know, always there. So she's also the main character. And they're kind of a team. He's a Viking, she's a shield maiden, and they're like together, but okay. So according to the laws of their people, they cannot be together because they're both warrior leaders. They're leaders of war tribes or war camps or something. And in order to minimize, I guess, the strength of each one, they don't let them get married and stuff or like have relationships in order to not make it so that, you know, one dude has a wife that also has a bunch of warriors and then he's suddenly stronger than all the other ones. I assume that's why. It makes sense to me. I'm not really sure why, but it was just a rule and they couldn't. But then now they're no longer in their country, so they can, you know, be lovers now, which is cool. And then we have Toshiro, the samurai slash the guy that introduces them to Japan when they get there. And then we have Kai, which is a female leader of a war band or a warrior group that have no lord, that they serve under their own thing. Basically, Kai is their leader and she's their lord. She's Lady Kai, but she doesn't serve anyone else. And it's cool. Those are the 4 characters. There's a few others, but they're not really all that meaningful, or they are, but I don't want to spoil them too much. And then we have a couple bad guys, but none of the bad guys are really like important. They're more like obstacles to overcome instead of like, you know, meaningful bad guys. Like they don't have any connection with Leo. So they're good, but they could be more if they were somehow connected to our main character. You know, it's just a thing. That's my one gripe with the characters here. But yeah, good, enjoyable, interesting. Really enjoy the romance slash tension between characters. I really like Leo and Kara and how they're basically childhood friends and slash warriors that are like friends, like brother and sister in arms, but they also have a very distinct admiration for each other and they want to be in a relationship, and so they are. And then their relationship in the harem building is not just like Leo building a harem, it's like Leo and Kara building a harem for each other kind of thing, which I like. It was a very interesting kind of take on the harem lit thing, which is a lot more interesting than just like the guy that sleeps with a bunch of women that they're all magically okay with it. I mean, Kara's magically okay with it, but it's because she's also into it, which is better. So that's basically it on the characters. The world building is nice. It's good enough. It's vaguely historical styled, and like they're Vikings and they're like in Viking areas, and then they go to Japan and Japan is Japanese looking. But obviously it's not historically accurate. The Vikings wear leather armor and leather clothing, and I'm pretty sure that it's clear that Vikings would not wear leather armor and leather clothing. One, because leather armor is actually not that great and it's very expensive. And two, there is better options. You know, cloth and wool and stuff is a much better type of clothing that they would wear. But obviously this is a video game style Viking, not a historically accurate one. So it's all good. If you're looking for historical accuracy, do not read this. Well, read this because it's a fun story, but don't expect historical accuracy. However, the persona magic, which is akin to something in... Okay, you guys know Saint Seiya, you know, Knights of the Zodiac, how they call on the cosmos to don the armor of whatever constellation they were born under. Kind of the same style of thing, but it's more like there was this ancient warrior, he imbued his soul into a thing, and our character can access the soul and then use it, kind of. And it's really interesting how it works. We know how to use it, not why it happens, kind of thing, or the depth of it, kind of. But it's a very cool video game-esque system that's purely magic based. Very good stuff. I like the folklore that they have. You know, there's goblins, there's tengu, which are like little Japanese oni, monster things. And there's mystical animals, which are also really cool. I really like the giant white tigers. Good stuff. And yeah, I mean, the world building is not really the important aspect. The important aspect here is more of the characters and the plot. So, is there any art? No, besides the cover, which is rather good, but I would have liked to see some of the proper outfits that are described in the book, more so than the ones we saw on the cover. I think his outfit is kind of accurate, but I don't think the other two are. And I would have liked to see more like accurate representation of the outfits that we got described in the books, because they looked much nicer, or I imagine them much nicer than the ones we got in the cover. But it's a semantic thing. It's not really like it matters. And yeah, so the fan service or the smutty bit or the racy thing, I don't know what to call it. It's good. It's spicy. That's what the author described it as, and I think it's an apt description. It's enough to keep you interested, and it's more passionate than you would be used to in most of these types of books. It actually kind of means something. Like Kara and Leo really do care for each other, and when they have a relationship with a third character, it's also very like mutually respected kind of thing, and it feels a lot more meaningful. Yeah. And there's like emotion on it, and I like it. It was good. It was okay. So the second character that they have a relationship with, Leo has a relationship with, felt a little too fast, like a little bit, because they meet, they show off that they're better warriors, and then they go on a quest, and it doesn't really take that long to go on the quest, but by the end of it, they're like interested in each other, or well, Leo and Kara were already interested in her from the beginning, and I guess she was as well, but like, they're trying to set it up as a relationship, and I feel like there wasn't enough time to get to the relationship, which I think was kind of the same issue I had with Dragon Atlas. It could change up in the second book. It could actually feel like they are developing it much better. It's just, it's par for the course of Harem Lit, so it's all good. No worries. So there's two things I want to note before I get to my recommendation and similar titles section. And it's that there was two problems with the book, and they're not really problems, they're more like nitpicks. There's two things I noticed that messed up with the continuity / logic of, you know, the reading, okay? First thing is, Toshiro gets introduced with yellow armor at one point, and then the second time he has his armor on, apparently it's black, and everyone around him and all of his people that work for him also were wearing black. But that's like completely opposite, the complete opposite color of what he was wearing before. His armor was bright yellow. And I don't know why that is. I assume it was just a thing that the author changed that didn't get fixed in every occurrence. Given that it only happened like twice, it's fine. It's just a thing that I noticed, but it's really small. I just noticed it, and it was a little bit like, oh, come on, man. And then the second thing is that Kai is a female character, and they see her close enough to have her take her helmet off and see that it's a girl. And she even talks to Toshiro when they meet. But then that's the end of a chapter, and then the first thing in the next chapter is her coming down from, coming down and then meeting them and getting off her horse. And then she already has her helmet off. But Leo could see her face and notice that it was a woman, but couldn't see that she was wearing very feminine clothes from the same distance. It's I don't know if I explained it right, but it's just a little weird, because it's two scenes back to back, where like if he noticed the first thing, he should have noticed the other thing, but he didn't, and it just feels like she got introduced twice in two different ways, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a nitpick, and it's just a little bit annoying, because hey man, this was so good, and then this kind of stupid detail that's very glaringly obvious got passed up. But overall, I really like this story. I really like everything that happened here, except for those two things that I said There's little two nitpicks. Oh, and the fact that Kai's relationship with Leo and Kara was a little too fast, but that's basically it. Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. I think it's very fun, and if you like Viking stories, if you read Vinland Saga or watched The Last Kingdom or something like that, and you're kind of looking for something similar, this could be it. This would be enjoyable, and if you like Japanese stuff, this is also kind of for you. I think the two similar titles that I can think of are probably Shield Hero and Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon? Now, they're not directly similar, but the way the leveling system kind of works is similar to the Shield Hero and to Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? But yeah, that's basically it for me. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below, and support the artist. Check out his books. Leave him a review on Amazon, on Goodreads, and join his Facebook page if you're interested. I would really appreciate it, and I'm sure he would appreciate it too. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.